Greetings and salutations to all you folks out there. I've got a game on Open Palms for you today. This is between Hyro Protagonist and Jean-Lu. It is between two basically exactly evenly ranked players on the ladder. So this is a true ladder matchup. We've got UEF for Hyro Protagonist in the south versus Jean-Lu as Cybran in the north. So this is going to be a pretty classic matchup on an excellent map. This map is very difficult to play. I believe I've mentioned this before. I have a hard time with it because of run bys. Your early expansion is critical. You have to get out and gain all of these mass extractors in the expansion base, and then you have issues holding this behind you. There's problems with drops. You've got to get drops out to the plateaus out here to grab these mass extractors. And overall, it's just a pretty complicated experience. I can pretty confidently say that if you can do a strong game on this and win on this map in a 1 versus 1 consistently, you have a dang good build order and you are well on your way to mastering the 1 versus 1 gameplay. It does not have Navy is the only thing, but other than that, it is a very good map. All right. Hyro Protagonist is going with a pretty standard build. We've got Land Factory first, building 4 mass extractors, sorry, 2 power generators, building some engineers and scouts, but he has not set his factory waypoint where it is useful. And one other thing I'll comment on, normally I see people manually reclaiming the rocks on this map to get a boost, just like Jean-Lu is on the north side. You can see he has a lower initial mass income of only 7, but he has already reclaimed 248 mass, and that has done a pretty good job of boosting his eco. He is laying down his second land factory without stalling, which is going to give him a much stronger early expansion because it's going to allow him to get those units out early. Now, Hyro Protagonist has got his Hydro already done. He's going with more land factories. He was slightly quicker than Jean-Lu, but I still think overall Jean-Lu probably had the better initial build. All right. Let's go ahead and dive into the gameplay and see where this takes us. We've got Mantis coming out already across the map. Going to clean up this land scout over here. Shoot down towards the southern side. There was that was a Mantis. Shooting down, hoping that the ACU had gone off to one side or the other and he could kill these engineers that would inevitably be beside the Hydro. But that is going to be thwarted, and this Mantis is going to scuttle on back towards his homeland in fear of the tanks, but he's going to loop back around south. He could potentially go over and grab that engineer. All right, we have a air factory up for Hyro Protagonist, but not for Jean-Lu. And you'll notice as soon as he saw that air scout fly over his head, he built 3 or 4. If you see a cut in the audio, that was me dropping my microphone. Sorry. He built 3 or 4 mobile anti-air in anticipation of an early bomber coming across, which Hyro did not actually do, but that was just a preventative measure, which I can definitely agree with. Nice little run by these tanks over here. They were able to delay the expansion somewhat. There are 4 Mantis out now, Mantis out to try to cut them off, but those tanks are going to move northward and try to deny this expansion point from the engineer that will be headed in that direction. Hyro Protagonist is forward with his ACU on the right hand side, Hyro on the left, and you can see there are more tanks by far from both players flowing towards the left hand side. Looks like that's going to be where the action is concentrated, at least for now. These 4 Mantis are going to push up ahead of the engineer. That is going to hopefully clear out the tanks, but the tanks have already moved on. But there is a large force over here. It is versus an ACU, and there are jesters. Nice move from Jean-Lu. He does have that jester out. The pesky thing is going to... Ooh, this is not good at all. Hyro is getting swarmed by Mantis. I think he may be able to pull it out with a decent bit of micro and some overcharges. He is doing a pretty good job of it. He was able to expend his air to save his ACU from the jester, but he did lose his air force due to all of the mobile anti-air that was in that mix. All right, not a whole lot accomplished up there. A whole lot of dead tanks, but nothing decisive happened. Jean-Loup is down here in pretty much the same predicament. Not enough tanks, but the balance of power still lies with him because he does have his ACU there. And he is going to get swarmed by the tanks, but he's managing to stay near the edge, land some strategic overcharges, but there's just so many tanks. Got to direct all of his factory down there. I think Hyro could have actually killed that ACU if he'd focused harder. There's a veterancy on the ACU, 2 vets. That gives the regeneration and total health bonus to the ACU over the tanks, continuing to overcharge and overcharging his way straight out of danger. Brilliant ACU micro, not so good on the tank side of things. But if you look at how the unit concentration is, Hyro has killed off more tanks than Jean-Loup has. Also, Hyro has a higher income, and he has his factories rolling now. He's moved on to Tech 2, which has slightly decreased his unit count, but overall, he is very, very strong looking against Jean-Loup's forces. Jean-Loup also has Tech 2 up. He has 1 HQ, which is fairly heavily assisted, and also a support, so that is going to give him a bit more. No, there are now 3 Tech 2 supports online for Hyro. So I'm still going to say the balance of power lies with Hyro. He does have his ACU out in the mix. Does he have the gun upgrade? Yes, he does. Not Tech 2 though. Jean-Loup, let's check on him. Unupgraded comm. He is a brave one, that is for sure. Alright, got a good mix of pillars moving over towards the left side. That is going to completely overwhelm this base over here. Jean-Loup is going to lose out on some build power and some eco, and his ACU is once again in very dire straits. I don't know if he'll be able to pull himself out on this one. So many pillars in that mix, and he does not have enough units near him. And kaboom! GG, Jean-Loup is down. 14-minute game. Alright, a whole lot happened there. Overall, I would say Hyro's critical mistake was overextending his commander. He did not have enough units on 2 different occasions around his ACU. The first time he survived strictly by dumb luck, because Hyro overshot the ACU with all of his units and allowed Hyro to kite around the outside edge and land enough clean overcharges to get the veterancy to survive that. So that was the first time, and the second time he just did not bring enough units to the front. ACU hanging out, and the Tech 2 pillars were able to rout all of his units and then kill the ACU. Hyro played a very solid game. Kudos to him for good, solid, slow but steady expansion and covering all his bases. He did not overextend too much in any one area. He got a little dangerous with his ACU at one point, but not too bad. And overall, just through solid gameplay. I know I'm emphasizing solid a lot, but I don't really know another good descriptor word for that. Just very steady, overwhelming force to slowly crush his opponent up. Even if he had not managed that ACU kill right then, I don't think that game would have gone on a whole lot longer because of the excellent unit mix and the good precision use of his units. So if you want to see a good 1 versus 1 game, if you want to copy a play pattern, go pick up this replay. I will put the ID number in the description, as a lot of people have been asking me to do, and this would be a good one to learn from. Alrighty, that is going to wrap up this game for me. Good game to both of these guys, and thank you so much for watching, guys. I will catch you in the next one.